Hello there and welcome back to my channel, guys. I am the Rogue Witcher. Thank you for joining me. In today's video we will be doing a review of episode 3 of the Pendragon Cycle. Wow, what an episode, so much to get into, brilliant stuff. Before I do, I want to say again a massive thank you to all the fans of Pendragon that have been tuning in to my reviews. The first 2 episodes have done brilliant. View times brilliant, comments and engagement is fantastic, the likes, everything's been fantastic, new subscribers. So I just want to say a massive thank you because it really does mean a lot, especially to a small channel like myself. The support I'm getting is really helping, drive my channel in a good direction. So thank you very much. No more waffling because there's a lot to unpack. I'm not going to go on too long as I don't like to drag it out too much. But there's a lot of really cool points that I want to talk about today in today's video. Episode 3. Should we review it? Let's do it. I really loved today's episode for a multitude of reasons. One, it really felt like the start of our main story. First episode's almost like a prequel, if you will, introducing us to the world and what's before to help set us up in the direction that we want to go with this story. Now, bit of a weird start. He's just running around like a hermit, sort of looking for this cloaked man. It seems like potentially the cloaked man who spoke to Taliesin in the very first episode as well, a messenger of God. And he said something very interesting, which is go back the way you came. And that resonated with me. It's a clear indication of a message. Basically that, your future actually is back that way. You're running from it, but actually the only way through it is to go back. So I thought it was a really interesting start, and straight away to get the mind thinking of what that analogy could possibly mean. We are properly introduced to Merlin. I think he plays the character brilliantly, this actor. He's very stoic and very strong on screen. You really feel and see his presence. When he speaks, he does so in a demeanour and manner where you really stand to attention and listen. He's very clear of the way he speaks, very proper pronunciation, very sort of low as well, tone, but strong. I think he's got the right look. The eyes are super piercing, and I just think he just seems really, really good at this sort of character, and the way he engages with others in courteous sort of way, but also expresses his intent and tone and desire upon them very strongly without having to be too harsh or too loud. I think he does it very, very well and eloquently, in my opinion, personally. And he's with, a friend, and they sort of, get, I say captured, it's clear that he wants to go there to this King Vortigern, one of the kings of one of the Britons. It's weird how he knows everyone's names and where they're from. So it's said in the intro monologue, he sort of sees glimpses of the past and the future. He's sort of following both, which is quite interesting. Part of me thinks though, would that ruin the show if he just knew everything that was going to happen? Because then what's the point of doing anything? So I just think he gets glimpses of certain things in terms of the story. How he can see into people and know them and their transgressions and that, I'm not too sure. But again, he is the son of Taliesin and Caris. He's half Atlantean, half, we're assuming, human, we'll say Britain for now. We've not really got to see his magical powers in terms of, he was making a staff in the episode and that sort of stuff, but his powers in that way, in reading people and stuff like that. And he was very, very good in that scene with King Vortigern, letting him, no, dude, you took the mick here, and your end is upon you. And I just like how confident he is. He says a line, I can't remember what he says. He says it to Peleus as in, I think it was along the lines of something like, my end will only be, if it happens, it's ordained that way. So don't worry about things that can happen. My end is only going to happen in a way that it's supposed to, which was quite chilling as he didn't seem to fear any of the danger that was going on. So we have this King Vortigern who stole the throne from a fellow Briton, and he's done a dodgy deal with the Saxons are invading to let them raid the lands, and he won't stand in their way. So Saxons are getting a real strong foothold and are threatening, the future of all the kings of Britain, because there is many kings, which is interesting. And basically his end is met, is his demise, as we see, which Merlin obviously accurately calls and predicts, which I thought was a really cool battle. It really was. It was great to finally get into some real crux of action. I think it was shot brilliantly, great camera work, good acting. I also want to say Vortigern acted very well. I thought his character was acted very well. But yeah, we see his end tragically. I think it was from his son. You know, he just assumed he was an invader. I thought that was done really, really well, and it was just great to finally get into some real good action. A fantasy series like this, but you want to see the battles and the wars, and I thought it was done really, really well. And yeah, I have high praise for that, because I thought it might come off a bit like cheap, but no, it looked high budget. It looked very good. I like that we get flashbacks, so we've got flashbacks to help fill in the gaps of some of his story, because basically what it appears to be when he was being raised, which it looks like in the kingdom, I've forgotten the name, begins with M, but it was where Taliesin and his mother went to in the previous episode. It looks like he was being raised there, potentially to one day be king. It seemed they were talking to him about, you know, his mentor Afghan. He was, you know, basically saying there's more power, there's another power that even kings have to adhere to, and learn to have that, and you're off to the races. So he obviously was also taught magical ways from Afghan, as was Taliesin. So that's pretty cool that the mentor to his dad was also the mentor to him. And I like how that carries on. The person who was training with a sword was also somebody who worked with his father. So I just really liked that. I just thought it was really cool just to get flashbacks. There's another one I'll talk about in a minute, but it just helps fill in the gaps in the story, because obviously it would appear that he's had this amazing life, and then for some reason, which we don't know yet, obviously people who read the books probably do, but I don't, is then he went into exile for a reason. He went away from the land of men for a reason, for quite a long time. I don't know how many years, but it would appear that something major happened, and he's now back to rectify it by, it would appear, God's will. So Vortigern, as I said, met his end, and it was by these brothers. At first I thought they were Saxons, because they said the Saxons are going to invade. No, it is the children of the former king that Vortigern usurped. Again, very cool characters. I like the introduction to the brothers, the dynamic, obviously the older brother, the rightful king, the younger brother, chip on his shoulder, point to prove, obviously probably maybe a bit jealous and envious of the position. They encounter Merlin. Merlin makes himself very known. The new king seems to have heard the Merlin story and is quite enticed by the idea of possibility of working with Merlin, him as his advisor. Sorry for the stuttering. And I just felt that they're, again, a very good chemistry. I like how he works off other people, Merlin. I feel like he really reads them and reacts and adheres to how they perceive him and project to him. I don't know if you understand what I mean by that, but if you do, then you get it. And I just think he does very well with that. He is happy to work with him because Merlin believes that the only way to win is to get one true king of Britain. He says like the king of summer, which I believe was a little tidbit to the previous episode when Taliesin said he had a vision of all the great times in summer, and there would be one king of all Britain, and he thought it would be him. Perhaps he wasn't seeing him, he was seeing himself in his son, possibly. In terms of locations that I'm trying to keep track of, I believe Vortigern was king of Gwynedd. So yeah, so I think the new king of the brothers is the king of that. There's many Britain kings of all different parts, so it will be hard to keep track, but I will try. And yeah, we need to unite. Another really awesome flashback was when Merlin was with his grandfather. Kind of would have liked to have seen a scene where he found out Taliesin was dead. Maybe it'll come later. I just would have liked that. But he speaks to one of the Roman people, and he projects this sword and all these kings. So I believe this is the future that and this is why he's helping this king, because he believes maybe he should be the king of all kings, one true king of Britain, to destroy the Saxons and unite everyone. Is because he had this vision of all these kings around this sword and this woman projecting it, and he believes it's meant for the one true king, and he will use the sword because it's the sword of Britain and to unite. Is he reading that accurately? Because she looked blonde, and I'm wondering, is it Morgaine who was holding up the sword, and is it a real plot and a ploy and a trick? I don't know, just a theory I'm throwing off the bat. Surely it's Merlin who's going to be the true king. Maybe I'm wrong. It almost feels like maybe he doesn't want it, or he's not sure whether he should be it, because it appears he's done some previous bad things. I believe, if we're to believe the intro, he's been a king before. Of where? Again, I don't know. I'm guessing that, was it Myramid? the land where Taliesin went to and sang and stole their hearts in the previous episode. It seems like that's where he was raised. Who is to say? I also like how he reunited with his old priest who, you know, was there for him all his life. He's now so much older, whereas he's barely aged. He's obviously a young adult, but considering it's been like 75 years. And I just really like how they're linking the past to now, and that's going to help fill in some of the gaps. He has a right-hand man, Peleus. You need one of those. You always need a good right-hand man. So I'm excited for here. He seems like a really cool character, you know, a loyal soldier, fight for the cause. He said he was carrying that instrument for the bard for 50 years. I'm guessing he's Atlantean. That is the only way I think this works. Let me know in the comment section if I am wrong. Couple more things. We get this emotional reunion at the very end, which is pretty cool. He has returned, it would appear, to where they are ruling, the Atlanteans still, and his mother is there, of course, in the very church where Taliesin was, you know, awoken to God, and they reunite, which is pretty cool. We didn't get much of Caris, but of course I'm sure we will in following episodes. And the final bit I want to talk about was, she's in it, my girl Brett's in it, guys. I'm a little annoyed because I was hoping that I was actually going to see her more than just the glimpses, but he's obviously having these visions of the future. Listen, I'm telling you now, if they get together, which is, I'm guessing they are because of a couple of brief glimpses of the future of his that he had, and then they kill her because there was one flash in the future where she looked like maybe she was bleeding. I'm telling you now, I'm going to be pissed. Do not kill my girl Brett off. Can't wait to meet her character. Love Brett Cooper. Really excited to see their dynamic and their chemistry and their bond going forward. So yeah, I just think it was a really good episode. Really love Merlin, his acting. I'm loving the story where it's leading. I'm loving the subplot and the new characters we've met. I think we've got some really good ones. I'd say Peleus probably is my favourite so far of the new characters, obviously besides Merlin. And yeah, really excited for where the story is going to go. Really good episode. Another great one for the Pendragon Cycle. Alright then guys, that was my review of the Pendragon Cycle, Rise of Merlin, episode 3. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I can't wait to hear your comments and get talking to you guys once again. Smash a like on the video on your way out. Really helps and supports the channel. And if you want to stick around for this amazing journey we're on, then please do consider subscribing. I've loved every minute so far of this series, and getting to speak to you guys in the comment section and learning more and more. You've been very helpful, and without spoilers as well, which I really appreciate, but educating me and helping me on all the different bits of Pendragon. So thank you so much for all the support. Again, I will catch you in the next video. As always, guys, I've been the Rogue Witcher. I'll see you next time. Adios.